Hi, and welcome back to our podcast series on the Check-In podcast, where we're talking to community builders and leaders and talking about total well-being in the workplace, at home, at schools. My guest right now is Ms. Jody Steinhauer. Jody, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Nelson. Great to be here.
Jody, maybe tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm an impact entrepreneur. I do three main things. I have a 37-year-old company called the Bargains Group. We're a wholesale distributor, which means we have a lot of stuff at really discount prices, bargainsgroup.com. Our main business used to be supplying discount stores coast to coast, where they would buy really inexpensive from us and make lots of money. But now our biggest section is supplying charities, not-for-profits, and disaster relief and donor groups. So if you're a charity or you're wanting to help a charity, please never buy anything in retail. Go to bargainsgroup.com. And we also have warehouses filled with free donations. We have a promotional products company. I founded a homeless charity called engageandchange.org 27 years ago because a man froze to death on the streets in Toronto. And every year in January, coming up this year, we have hundreds of corporate volunteers, and we build about approximately $1 million worth of winter survival kits. And we literally load the vehicles of anywhere between 160 and 200 plus charities so that nobody will freeze to death on our streets in the frigid winter. And lastly, Kits for a Cause is our newest enterprise that's gone global. We are the place where we will help you organize and outsource kit building, whether it be your company, your church group, your men's group. If you want to come together and pack kits for an important charity and learn and do what I love to call active philanthropy. We've modeled it after our very successful charity. All our services are free, and 100% of anybody's budget goes towards the supplies that we provide for kit packing. We promise a 5-star Uberized plug and play, and we're just helping charities coast to coast trying to get the supplies they desperately need to deliver their services.
Wow, amazing. Thank you so much for all that you do for the community. Let me ask you the first question right off the hop, and that is, what does well-being at work mean for you?
Well-being for me and my employees is really one word: be happy. Because I always say I'm in the happiness business, whether my team, our number one core value is we consciously care, and in brackets it says we give a shit right on the wall. We care about each other first. You know, we always say we have to put our oxygen mask on first, and we care about our clients, and we care about our suppliers. And I think that's one of the challenges in business. Suppliers tell me all the time, Jody, like, nobody treats us the way you do, right? Because we're all really important, and we're in the social service sector. We're in the disaster sector. There's always something going on. So well-being is really taking care of each other and making sure we can collectively work together to make sure that all of our clients are going to be okay.
And can you share something that your organization does in particular, big or small, that helps support well-being in the workplace?
I think one of the biggest things we try to do is over communicate. So we have like a morning huddle, right? Everybody's on the call and we have 15 minutes. And the first question is, who needs help, right? And I have that kind of culture that, you know, the guy in marketing or the guy in shipping can say, we're going to be slammed. We got way too many orders. And the salespeople or the accountant will jump in and say, what do you need me to do? I can do it. And to me, asking for help is a really difficult thing for some people. So we really want to provide safe spaces for people to be able to ask for help and not feel dumb. And for people to jump in and help also and feel good about helping. We do that in the morning with everybody. And then we do it at the end of the day. All of my employees write a really quick wrap-up note to their supervisor and me. And there's 3 questions we ask. What was awesome about your day? What sucked about your day? And what do we need? What do you need help with, or what do we need to know? And the fact that they know that they are all going to be read every single day, coupled with an open door, I think people just need to all feel that they're really important.
And what's one challenge you're faced with as a leader when it comes to supporting your team's well-being?
Definitely now mental health. I mean, I think the biggest challenge is any organization is filled with humans. And I do not know a human right now that is not over maxed out, especially in their personal life. I mean, in the olden days, we used to say, uh, show up and leave your problems at the door, right? So I would say, the 50 plus crowd, we know how to do that really well, right? The younger generation doesn't. And as leaders, we need to be able to understand that, right? They don't necessarily have the skills or the mechanisms. So I think right now, being a supportive leader, but also having to get the job done, right? That's a real balancing act for any leader right now. And everybody is just maxed out. I work in the social service sector. So the average lifespan of someone who works in a homeless shelter or a front-facing organization with vulnerable people is in apparently 14 months. That's not a lot of very time. They burn out, right? So it's really, how do we make our people feel supported, but also serve our clients at the same time?
Yeah. And so you mentioned suppliers, you mentioned all the people that you work with and all the things that you do. How do you personally recharge the batteries, Jody?
Well, if you look at my face, a lot of makeup. I mean, really self-care. So they call me Wonder Woman. I work, 7 days a week, 20 hours a day. I don't sleep much, which I do not recommend anybody does, but I love what I do. And every time I don't answer 3 or 4 emails, those are people that I could have helped, which makes me feel good. So I think mental health's really well-being. I think talk therapy is essential. So, and I'm one of those people who lives by my calendar. So I have a therapist that every month I'm on that therapy, a call, whether it's just saying, hey, I'm doing really great. It's a check-in. I have a healer and an osteopath practitioner I've seen for 30 years. Part of that is probably when they're dealing with your body, they're dealing with your mind too. That's a monthly investment. I have a naturopath, and I get IV vitamin transfusions right into Myers. I think they're called Myers cocktails, right into my veins once a month. But I used to get sick all the time because I'm run down. I don't get sick. I take vitamins. I try and exercise 3 times a week. I just really, it's in my calendar, and that's not negotiable. It's very rare. It kills me. I do a Pilates class at 6 o'clock on a Thursday morning. I don't have time to be at the gym every week, nor do I want to, but I get outside. And the newest thing we've done is I've moved up north 4 days a week so that I can have mental space and nature around me, because I'm a thinker, I'm a connector, and I need space. And I work in a very chaotic warehouse normally. So I don't think there's one answer, but all of those things have really, really contributed to how I look after. And my people know, like, if I'm not, healthy or driving, I can't help them do what they do, and it trickles down. So I really have to focus. I also have, 5 children, right? Adult children, and and a dog and a husband. So and aging parents, right? So there's a lot of moving parts, but I ask for help a lot, and I'm a master delegator. I have no problem saying, I'm terrible at this. Can someone help me? Who do you know? And people are shocked when the leader of the company is like, I don't know how to do this. Can you help me? But, ask for help, I say to people all day long, and create environments around you as leaders where your people feel comfortable asking for help.
Yeah, that kind of spills into that next question, and that's, what advice would you give other leaders about creating spaces of mental health culture, total well-being culture in an organization?
Yeah, I'm not an expert on that, but I would say who doesn't deal with mental health? We're all broken. I always say to everybody now, the world is a mess, right? Every one of us is broken. Every one of our clients is broken. Every one of our clients. So, I say to leaders, recognize that there's a lot of people trying to fake it, showing up at work and trying to pretend that they've got it together. Be human, right? go up to someone and say, are you okay? Or send them a text, like you didn't look yourself. So as much you can have that one-on-one and really be human with your people. My concern with AI and all this automation is that's being put by the wayside. And I mean, we don't even have an e-commerce website because people love, I believe people love dealing with human beings. And that's one of our superpowers. You can pick up a phone and I'll actually have someone answer a phone, which is foreign to people, or send an email. Someone will answer it all day long. People go, thank you so much for answering my email so quickly. I literally want to say, well, why wouldn't I? Why'd you email me in the first place? Right. But, you know, really connect, celebrate everything we possibly can. Doesn't have to cost a lot of money. Every birthday, every anniversary in your company. Just try and bring empathy and goodness wherever you can, and in small little bites. That's what Kids for Cause is doing, teaching people how to get together for an hour and do something, learn, connect. But that whole craving connection is real. And when people feel supported and connected and being able to be vulnerable and ask for help, you've got the best team you could ever ask for. And I'm very, very, very lucky. I've got the most incredible team.
Oh, that's right. So much there that you just provided. That's one of my mantras too, is, you know, when I go into the grocery store, I never go into the self-checkout aisle.
Never.
I always go to the people. I prefer connection over convenience.
Absolutely. I say yesterday there was a woman, a cashier, and she was sneezing, and I was in line, and someone's like, why don't you just go to the checkout? I'm like, no, I like to give human beings jobs and connect. So I just said, hey, are you feeling okay? And she like looked at me like there was something wrong with me. I'm like, no, I mean, it's holidays. You got to look after that, and you got to make sure you're well for the holidays. And she just looked at me and said, like, thank you. Or I'm one of those people that, walks by people and says, hey, how you doing? And they look at you these days and go like, what do you want? And I just want to say hello, right? And why is that so foreign these days for just being friendly, right? So look for connection wherever you can. And sometimes you can't. So whether it be a text, or checking in, I try and every week reach out to a couple of people I haven't spoken to in a year or two. And sadly, it's shocking how many people are so excited, but so blown away by that. So, think about who haven't you heard from? Who should you check in? I mean, COVID really played a doozy on all of us. And there's people I've been running into, I haven't seen. Now I'm thinking like before COVID, that's a long time, right? But it's hard. The older you get, the more people you do connect with, but just really recognize the power of connection. And at Kids for Cause, I'll give you an example. We do these messages of hope and inspiration cards. And we're told a lot of times when these kits are donated to a charity and a human being gets this kit and it has this message of hope card that's been handwritten with a marker or something like that, they hang on to these cards. And when they're having a bad day, they pull this card out and it gives them hope and makes them feel loved, something so simple. So I tell that story whenever anybody's doing a kit pack and say to them, like, this card is pretty powerful. Whether you just write a note on it saying, hey, you got this and you can do this with a happy face. For someone who's having a really tough time, that can give them the hope that they needed to transcend them into a great space.
And Jody, something tells me I don't see you being the retiring kind, but when the day comes that you choose to retire, or maybe you slow things right down, how would you like the people that worked for you? What would you like them to say about you?
Well, I mean, I would tell you that I am not looking to retire, but I am looking for someone to run all my companies because I love doing a lot. I love speaking. I'm also a professional speaker, and I love speaking because I know that if I speak to an audience, I can inspire people in the room to take action, which will have a ripple effect of kindness and goodness in the local communities they're in. I just, I'm a really hard worker, but I'm a really straight shooter. And I really, really try to show up with everything I do with my authentic self. And not everybody likes it, right? Yeah. But there's no surprises with me. I think my people will tell you, she says it like it is. She just is never satisfied because she can always raise the bar. And she just really wants to make a difference in the world and make impact. Hopefully that's what they'll be remembered by.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Call that the tombstone test. If you've not done that, write your eulogy.
Oh, yes.
And, reverse engineer your life on what do you want to be remembered by. I get offered for my companies to be bought every single day. People say, what's the number? They're shocked when I say no. And I'm like, I'm not motivated by money. I'm motivated by helping people and make impact. And unfortunately, majority of the people who are looking to buy businesses and scale them and grow them, venture capitalists, it's a business, right? Yeah. It's a business for growth, but I would never sell out to that for any money, because I would never want my charities to be, quite frankly, taken advantage of, because these communities trust me. And that's been decades of earning their trust. And I would never want to erode that trust. And so it's an interesting question that I'm dealing with now. But the world has never needed the work I do more. Mm-hmm. And that's really the truth. So it's a struggle trying to pare back a bit and, only work 15 hours a day, not 20. But I will say, I've got a lot of incredible people that are taking some of the lifting off my plate now. And that's really what it is, about learning how to trust people, build a circle, and delegate. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do, so that I can just really inspire on a global scale more people to do good. My mantra is giving back makes great business sense. And that's what I like to teach business people and teach charities how to leverage relationships so that they can get the help they need.
Mm. And yeah, I'll definitely be coming to you for some of that. Last question, Jody, is what gives you hope for the future of leadership and workplace well-being?
Yeah, I think for leadership and well-being, I just want people to be happy and healthy, right? And every organization, industry has a different definition as what are happy and healthy employees, right? I think it's really, really difficult to do that. So whatever that means, being able to help and support your employees to the best of your ability. But I also think that employees have to understand that as much as you can be an empathetic leader, you are running a business, right? And one of the challenges we all have is the lack of, counseling services, whether it be psychology or psychiatry. And yeah, I want my people to get as much help as they can, and we provide benefit programs, but those benefits are never enough for what they need. So, I think a lot is on the government, a lot is on us, but at least if we can find resources, like you've got an amazing group that you've built, Nelson, and I love talk therapy. So, really making people aware of all these other resources that are available for their employees or their communities. And it's building that awareness, I think, is really, really essential. And as leaders, we need to know who we can help and who we can't, and where we can send them to potentially get that help that they may need.
Yeah, awesome. And it's just all about the wanting to do and the learning of how to, and I think people want to help others. I think that's just in their DNA, and it's how to create that timing and that space that we can set aside a little bit of work here to start building a plan here that can really transcend across the company. So, yeah, that's part of our goals here.
Don't get stuck. I always say at Kits for a Cause, we don't really do anything that miraculous. It's just, companies and groups of people, like you said, they want to help, right? The problem is everyone's job is so much busier. The demands are so much faster, quicker, larger. So they're kind of stuck. They want to help, but they've got all these other demands, and charitable work and help is going to come second on the list. So once they know about Kits for a Cause, they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. You can do this for us and make it easy. Our job is to make it fun, easy, and massively impactful. And I think that really goes with anything we're doing. Look at what you're stuck on, right? Like, what is making you stuck, whatever that is, and how can you get over that, right? Because it shouldn't be, helping should not be onerous and painful. Helping, should make you feel good. We call it the helper's high. After you've helped somebody, you get that euphoric rush of feeling good. I mean, that's what I try and constantly say to my team, like wherever I can praise them all day long, publicly, privately, on social. But, you know, it's important that we tell people, hey, you did a great job when you did a great job, not just call them out when they did it, right? Everybody needs to be appreciated. And in most cases, I truly believe we just give them a vehicle to make helping a lot easier and more turnkey.
And with that, Jody, I'll just say thank you so much for taking time to share your insights and advice through a career that has helped hundreds, thousands, millions, maybe. You mentioned the ripple effect, and that's what capillary wave is basically the ripple effect of doing good. So, Jody, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Nelson.
Take care.